Hi there, parents, and welcome into this astrology energy forecast where I'm going to be taking a look at this first half of December and giving you some of the major astrology highlights and what you can be expecting from your kids and how they might be behaving and reacting to these astrology energies. My name is Christy Whistler. I am an intuitive, an evolutionary astrologer, and I am also the parent of two magical, multidimensional kids. So I very much appreciate knowing the astrology because it gives me insight and understanding of how my children are reacting. And oh boy, are they reacting these days. So if that is you as well, you are not going through this alone. And I do have a holiday offering available for you where I am offering 10% off all of my readings, which includes Chart Your Stars, where we explore and uncover your soul's direction, evolutionary intention for this life, where your soul is pushing you to go towards, and as well, I do this for children, which is actually one of my favorite ways to look at birth charts to support you as parents in understanding who your children are, what they've come in to do and to learn, and how they are sensitive. Oh boy, do we have some very sensitive kids on this world right now. And I know for me as a parent, I really appreciate knowing what that is so I can better help them and support them. So anyway, if you would like information on that, check my website at christywhistler.com. And please like this video, subscribe to this channel. This truly does help me so much to get this message out there to more parents like you. And I appreciate you all so much for being here, for adding in your energy, for reaching out and sharing your experiences. I truly appreciate you. And in fact, I have a couple of videos that you might be interested in as well, and I will link those below for you. The first one is the day after Thanksgiving, I did an energy update for parents around what I was experiencing and seeing with my kids, as well as a channeled message to support you during this crazy time. And I also have a video about how to navigate the holidays with sensitive kids. So those are available for you. So have fun with that if that calls to you. And right, let's get into some of this astrology and what you can expect. Now, I did a more in-depth one on the astrology, which is more geared for adults. This one is going to be that parent focus for you. So just be mindful that if you want to go really down into the weeds, there's another video for that. So, all right. Now, let's get into this. So, be really mindful right now about your kids, especially if they're sensitive. Are they doing too much? The holidays are great fun. I personally love Christmas lights, and I also really love cookies. I really do love some cookies. All the things, right? Just notice that plus these energies we are in can have a really increased, intense effect on our children. The energies are intense right now, and I feel that they're going to continue to build as we get to the winter solstice on December 21st. And there's more I can say. I'm just trying to give you guys like the highlights of what to expect with this. So the collective consciousness is really highlighted right now. And if you have very sensitive kids, they're really going to be picking up on that energy. Anxiety, overwhelm, right? Running around trying to get all your errands done and you've only got 2 hours to do it or whatever. So there's that. Just the holiday piece, okay? There's also in the dream spell calendar, which is the Galactic Mayan, we are in a warrior wave spell, which means for the next 11 days, I'm filming this on December 2nd, that collective energy is going to be really at the surface. So think of it like a spider web, that we are all connected. This web of consciousness. So your kids can be really picking up on all of that, in addition to the really fun Christmas lights and the presents and the cookies. So just be aware that they might need extra support from you at this time. I would recommend just drinking a lot of water. Not just milk and juice, but like water. That'll be really helpful, as well as getting outside into nature, giving them and making sure they have opportunities to move their bodies. Movement is going to be really helpful for them. And downtime. If there is one collective message I have been getting from Spirit, it is that. We really need to take this time to rest and to go within, to be still. Now, you may have kids that don't really sit still, which is fine, but it's like whatever their version of downtime is, make sure that they have that, and make sure it's spaced out for them as well, between the activities and the holidays. So just use your parent gut. Use your intuition, because you are the one who's going to really know when they're hitting that red button alert. We do not dare pass go kind of energy. So you want to have your finger on their pulse with that energy, so you don't go farther than you need to. So Neptune energies are really going to be at play this first half of December. So and especially with Neptune conjunct to Jupiter. All right. This can mean an increase or an expansion in your child's sensitivities and their psychic abilities. They can be natural gifts. They're natural gifts around being a channel, especially if they have planets in the later degrees of Pisces, can be really highlighted, really coming online. They might also have this increased sense of boundarylessness for them, or there's this bleed through of energies and emotions. So what does that mean? As I was speaking about like this collective consciousness, this spider web, okay, your children could be like at this one part of this web, and they're picking up on other parts of the web 4 miles away or 400 miles away, and it's in their system and they don't know, is that mine or is that someone else's? Like they can't tell, because there's this bleed through, this boundarylessness between them and the rest of the world, the collective, which is why I really wanted to highlight that, because I was very much seeing that in my children around Thanksgiving. So you want more information and details about that and what I've been hearing from other parents, go see that video, because it was very helpful for me even to know that I'm not alone in what's happening. So very, very intense for some of our kids. So be aware that your children could be mirrors to that energy. Like it's not even theirs, and yet it's like coming through them or from yourself. That's always a possibility and a probability. So your kids really highlighting lessons for you around what is truth and what is illusion. They may be pushing you to see more than just one truth, your truth, compared to seeing theirs, their point of view, their experience, or, vice versa, especially if you have, older kids, trying to help them to understand maybe your concerns around safety, whereas they want freedom. And so there's this back and forth opportunity to explore that together. So again, creative tension. So what are you going to do with it? That's what I mean by creative tension. It's there, it's being activated. Now what are we going to do and build with it together? You can also have an easier time seeing and understanding these different points of view, especially if we are making this effort to see all facets of the diamond, all the different perspectives of our kids, their experience of the world, as well as ourselves. There is this real Sagittarian wisdom. Higher octave Sagittarius is telling us that there can be many truths, and they are all based on experience and perspective. And so there's this invitation of, can you see that? And then on December 3rd, we have Neptune is going direct in Pisces. So there's going to be a lot of energy shifting and starting to move forward. Lower octave Sagittarius can be around escapism. So if you have children who are incredibly overwhelmed by all these energies, they might be wanting to escape from the world by going to the things that they enjoy and love. So that could be, just video games, for example. Or maybe you have kids who are giant readers and they love to be in their fantasy world. That can be highlighted. Again, illusion, fantasy, addictions, drugs, pharmaceuticals. This is all lower octave Neptune can be highlighted. Now, higher octave is this more spiritual, mystical connection. This is where we can really be getting downloads from Source, from God, and this really higher connection coming through. So expansion of spiritual gifts and sensitivities. This is a really good time to go out into nature, to not rush around in all the craziest, and instead just be present and go be creative. Really encourage your children in whatever that is they find enjoyable and creative. And you may find that they can be real channels with their creativity and what they're tapping into. So, that could be music, that can be art, that can be dance, or just pretend play. So, be sure. I know holidays, December is very busy. We all have really busy schedules, overpacked, so much to do, okay? Be sure to give your kids the space to have that creative outlet. You might be really surprised on what they bring through for you, and just to show you. Again, spiritual sensitivities really can be coming online, and that bleed through, again, earlier, as I was mentioning. So take this time to really communicate with your children, to also truly hear and listen to their values. We are going to have Venus square to Neptune. So what is valuable and important to your kids? And perhaps you can express what's valuable to you, especially with your older kids and your teenagers. And can you honor each other's values, even if they're different? So this creative tension, this opportunity to really see and understand each other in new ways. There is this energy as well of wanting to move forward, to surge ahead, and to suddenly get stopped, to be restricted. And that's Saturn energy. We still have Saturn square to the moon's nodes, as well as Saturn square to Uranus, okay? They're all still in play. So if your kids can be really still pushing you, going against the grain, going and doing things differently, going to the beat of their own drum, and they could be really coming into some tension and frustration with authority, whether it's you as their parent or school, coaches, bosses, who are really saying, nope, that's not the way we do things. This is the one way we do things. You know, like not letting them go and do and experiment and try things differently. Go and do it their unique way. So there can be some tension and frustration coming in with that still. So, you know, be aware that there may be this kids wanting to push against that top-down structure, that top-down authority, because they're here to build something new, and they really are leading us into this new future. In fact, you might find that right now, especially, like, our kids can be true visionaries of the future, and big visions, like the kind of thing that you and I like can't even dream up, because, you know, we've been in these systems and structures too long. So it is our job to listen to them, especially at this time, okay? We're not just listening to their words, but with our whole being. So it's not just about language and communication. This is about their expressions, their behaviors. Listen to the whole picture of who your child is. This is the time to question all that is old and not working for the child you have. This isn't a time of getting them to fit into the cookie cutter mold, and you got to go to this school and then this school and this school, and then you're going to go to this college and have this job that you're going to be in until you retire. Okay, just as an example, that roadmap that I was certainly given as a child, and I was not allowed to deviate from that. Okay, that is not who these kids coming in are. So question all of that, however it shows up for you and for them, and what they're pushing against. Okay, because your kids are going to tell you, this is the thing that I'm not towing that company line. I'm doing it my way. They're going to tell you what that is. So go with them on this. Like, really dream up. Dare to dream what an actual supportive world would be for your kids. I'll share a brief story with you. I'm part of some Facebook groups for late talking children, and it came up in a shared conversation how one family made this choice to send their child to public school, and they've had a tutor for this child since they were 5 years old, and this constant like pushing, not wanting them to be different. I'm trying to put this in a way that's trying to make my words accurate and understandable for everyone, because I very much could understand their perception, and it came from this is the way the world is, and we want you to survive in this world, and to make that happen, because this is a dog eat dog world. Right? That's that distorted Capricorn that we've been in. And Pluto is currently tearing down, going through those last few degrees of Capricorn. But it's this dog eat dog world. You've got to work hard in order to survive. And we want our child to survive. So you, child, you are going to work hard. You're going to work extra hard so you can catch up to where your peers are in this educational system. And that was their response, which, again, completely understand. Like many parents, that could even be you, have made that choice. So that's fine. Yet, this energy that we have right now that our children are really highlighting and bringing in, this is an opportunity to do it better, to dream bigger. So maybe this is a really good time to look at this system where you have a young child who's needed a tutor their entire educational career. Maybe it's the educational system that's not working. Maybe we can actually have a system that is supportive for helping a child to grow and to learn in the areas they need to grow and learn in. Or maybe we could even really focus instead of on the failures that we have. I certainly have some failures when it comes to my learning. Like, I am not a math person. It is in one ear and out the other. Like, I take that test and it's done. Like, I just don't have a math brain. And yet, I'm much more a right brain. I'm also a writer. I'm a creative. Like, that's where my success is. You can have me in years of math and algebra and I come out the other side, which I did, and I can't remember a thing because it's not the way my brain is wired. So, again, can we dare to dream up something new and different that is actually supportive? That's the real question. This question of, is it actually the system that's wrong and not working, as opposed to the child who's come into this planet the way that they are, them not working in the system? This child who really comes in, and I'm speaking all of children who are different and unique, when they have that energy and they're like, no, I'm not going to do it this way. That way it's not going to work for me, and I'm not going to let you force me to do it. So do we dare question the status quo? The way things have always been done, like with education, at least for the past, 100 years. The school system is actually relatively new, So there's this opportunity here. And it's beautiful as well because it's just this discussion around children and even the school system. This is bringing in some other major themes of astrology around natural law versus man-made law. We also have Black Moon Lilith going through Cancer right now, and she's opposite to that Pluto in Capricorn. So this is around this feminine wisdom. It's around mothering, motherhood, children, and are those energies, is the home, is our children actually being supported in our systems and structures? Or has that energy and gifts been oppressed and repressed? And Black Moon Lilith, she's got some raw, primordial feminine energy, really aligning with the natural law. So let's see what shapes up. But again, it's this opportunity for the future and to do things differently. And then on December 7th and 8th, depending on where you live in the world, we have our full moon in Gemini at 16 degrees. So go look and see where that falls in your chart or your child's, what houses or planets that might be activated at this full moon. And again, if you would like support with that, I do have that holiday offering if you would like a birth chart reading for yourself or for them. And I do go into some more detail on the other video, okay? But this one for parents, I would say that this energy is a really great time to review and reflect on the facts and information coming from the past on actions that we may have taken, or how we might have supported our kids. How can we support our kids for their past actions, to review and reflect on them? And there can be a lot of clarity coming through. This being able to see and discern truth from illusion, what was true in the past and what might have been false. Just one example, now that we're, 2 years, I think, I don't know, time's kind of getting a little funky, past this lockdown period with the pandemic. Now, We might be reviewing the decisions that were made for us as parents by authority and governments, especially around and for our children. Were those the right choices that was made? And what new information do we have that's coming in now, again, to let us help reflect and review on the past? How were we restricted from seeing the full picture and perspective? Were we seeing and acting from our children's perceptions, their perspective, and what they believed was in their best interest? Okay, can we see it from our child's point of view as opposed to what we think best as parents or as adults? So it's like a real opportunity to put on a new hat, to see from some new glasses, some new lenses, which is going to be of our children. And there can be some anger and frustration coming around that clarity. So just for example, you might have your kids or your teenagers like coming towards you and at you to share frustration and anger. Maybe around those past actions, maybe around the lockdown, or maybe from just a few weeks ago when you were like, you've had enough Halloween candy, and they're like, that is not fair, or whatever it is for you. So there's this opportunity for you parents. How can you hold space for them? To be in non-judgment and to listen to them, to let them have their anger and their frustrations rather than just like clamping down on it. And as always, when you do that, your children are learning from you. If you choose to sit and hold that space of non-judgment, to be in compassion, to truly listen, instead of immediately being triggered, and your parts, maybe your own childhood coming to the surface for when that might have been done to you as a child around the same age or something like that. Like, if you can hold that space and listen and not be reactive, your children are going to be learning so much from you. You are modeling for them. And wow, can you just imagine what our world would be like if we could actually just listen to each other and not be triggered and coming from our different parts? Like, whew, totally different world. So your role and what you are offering in something as simple as listening is more giant, more massive than you could possibly know. So you're doing big work, parents. Even going through this incredibly intense time on our planet. So much is changing, so much is being restructured and shifting, and yet the simple act of listening to your children in these moments of frustration, and maybe you do react, okay? Maybe you are triggered. Can you kind of come back and even apologize and say, I'm really sorry I reacted that way? That again, like, you're going to move mountains and bring in massive changes just from something that simple. So just be aware. You can really do big things even as you might just be a parent. Okay. This is also a really big moment to be visionary, to bring in these really big dreams, okay, to be a creative. Now, often our dreams have been really stifled from the past, from these structures, this world that we have lived in. We've been coming in with this lack and scarcity from our epigenetics, from our ancestry or lineage, that many of us are doing some deep work to clear that and to finally like release it and be done with it. And yet we are adults doing this. And our kids, like, they're really coming in with more of this fresh slate. They're so much more connected into dreams, into big visions. and they haven't had to survive in this world, right? They haven't done the dog eat dog world. You know, they're still kids, and they have this deep connection with play and being creative. It's so much more easily accessible for them, whereas for us, it's like we have to take off layers of coats before we can get to our own inner child and that play and that spark. So our kids are masters at being these visionaries and dreams. They are masters at dreaming. So listen to your kids, okay? Let them show you how to do that again. This full moon is a wonderful time to put some big dreams out into the world and set intentions and creations. And if you've forgotten how to do that because you lived on this planet for 30, 40, 50, whatever, how many years, you've lost that connection, look to the children in your life to show you how to do that again. Ask them, bring them in to help you dream. What kind of world do they want to live in? What would their dream ideal education system and learning look like for them? You know, just as an example, and go play. Even if it's just discussion, can you build that energy between each other? Can you share that and just have fun with it? This is a time to have fun. This is a time to create, to dream big. Where our attention goes, that is our intention. So what are you intending to create for this new and better future for yourself and for your children? I do hope that has been supportive and helpful for you parents, to help you navigate what can be a very intense, stressful period of time. And yeah, there's a lot of things crumbling. Things are happening in our world. Lots of information coming at us. Again, go look at my other video for more details about that. But just know that our children are real partners in co-creating this new dream together, this new reality that we're going to live in. And please remember that I do have my holiday offering available. So if you would like 10% off the birth chart readings, that is available for you. So send me a message. And please like this video, subscribe to this channel. This truly does help me so much to get this out there to more parents like you and support them through these intense times. I hope you all have a wonderful first half of December. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you. And I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.